Welcome to the Panther Records podcast. My name is Jaden Leon, 10th grade chairman, and I'm part of Panther Records, and this is my co-host.
My name is Shania Manny, and I'm Miss 10th grade and 10th grade president.
Our guests today are Miss King and Mr. Spaulding. How was your day today?
I'm good. I'm super excited for the Panther Records. This is the first time I've been in here. It's really nice in here.
My day was good as well. I'm nervous, but it's cool.
All right, so today we're going to talk about SEL.
SEL, which is social emotional learning, is the process through individuals, both young and old, acquire and effectively apply their knowledge, attitudes, and skills necessary to understand and manage emotions and set and achieve personal positive goals and feel and show empathy for others, establishing and maintaining a positive relationship and responsible decision making.
So some SEL topics we have are self-management, responsible decision making, social awareness, relationship skills, and relationship skills. Okay, so what is the time recently you have used responsible decision making?
I'm gonna say recently. A lot of people don't know, but my apartment caught on fire about a month ago. More so, a responsible decision that I made was more so taking time for myself. I feel like in the world, we can get so caught up in the moment that we don't sit in how we feel. So how I was able to overcome that is more so just taking that response and being responsible and knowing that I'm not okay. So that was something that I was struggling with, but I took responsibility for how I was feeling, and then moving forward, what do I do next is more so where I'm at right now.
Wow. What was the time you used responsible decision making?
I would say today, when although we are teachers and it's expected that we withhold or basically maintain our emotions or our reactions, a lot of times it is just as trialing or hard as it is as a student and also as an adult to control how we react to stuff. But yeah, today, because I was real tired during first block, and sometimes first block is not the best block due to noise and stuff like that, and that's what really triggers me sometimes, loud noises. But I maintain control because I know that I still got to get paid and get my job done.
Did you have a question, Shanae?
This one is about relationship skills. How do y'all, I know y'all have a whole bunch of students each and every day. How do y'all maintain building relationships with our students?
I'm going to say, I don't know. My kids tend to say that I have a welcoming personality. So I always been someone who says good morning. I'm a very kind person. So something that I guess the girls really relate to me a lot is because I'm always going to keep it real. I'm not someone that you're going to come to and you're going to get the level 1 type of response. I'm going to give you my full-blown attention and just give you my perspective. I feel like I've learned a lot, even though I'm young, but I still have learned a lot over my life. And I always take that as a learning opportunity. And I think the girls always resonate with me a lot is because I just more so give them a space to just be themselves.
What class do you teach?
So this year I'm teaching writer's workshop, and I feel like that's an opportunity for me to even get closer to them because I'm starting to see their writing techniques, their writing strategies, the way they write, what they write about. Something that was cool today was the girl didn't notice that I paid attention to what she actually wrote, and I was like, "You want to be a nurse?" And she was like, "Oh, you read my stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna read your stuff." So that was something that kind of made me smile because it was just like, you really paid attention to me. And I think that made her smile as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's nice when teachers actually try to connect to you instead of just giving you work. just trying to put more on your plate.
What about you, Mrs.
I agree basically with what Ms. King said, but also I feel that relationship skills basically foster the actual relationship of teacher and student before it's actually a learning environment, because I know myself personally, like in school, it's certain teachers, like when I was in school, in high school, it's like it was certain teachers like, you pretty much can't ask me to pick up $1 off the ground for you, but like if it's the teacher that you built a relationship skill with, it's like you're more willing to try to run through a brick wall for them, because it's like that at heart they have your best interest. And I think that's like what should be on the forefront a lot with dealing with SEL and relationship skills, especially in school, because we only see you all for 8 hours or 7 to 8 hours every day, but it's like you don't know what people encounter like as soon as they step outside of the school ground. So I think like the first thing first is like just to make sure that as a person, our students okay, our teachers okay, because everybody is doing a job or playing a role, but you're still a person at the end of the day.
I agree. What did y'all take away of like mental health? Like, how do y'all feel about students' mental health? Just like having mental health days, period.
That students have mental health days?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that's essential. I'm all for mental health. I'm like, if you're having a bad day, this is something that I do with my students, but if you're having a bad day and you're experiencing hardship or you just feel like you're not having the best day, we do this. So you wave your hand like I'm just not here today. And they just do that randomly. They don't have to say anything. It's not a conversation that we have to have, but it's something that I learned that when they start to notice that I care in general about their overall health. So they begin to be like, okay, Miss King, this is where I'm at today. And that's just our signal without giving everybody the opportunity to input input their thoughts or opinions onto them. So that's something that we do in my classroom that I like. It's just, we just do this. We ain't having it today. Not today.
Me? I also agree. I feel that it's very like important, especially at this age, because I'm sure like, although it doesn't seem like it, it's adults walking around that you may see every day that also battle with mental health problems. And it's like, if you don't start early to try to foster something good, then you're only nurturing a bad habit or bad characteristics or traits that later on in life somehow will justify as being okay or right. But in reality, I feel like everybody should be able to, like what Ms. King was saying, be able to just say like, hey, I'm not 100% today. And I think that's very like important and realistic to the aspect of how life will actually be in school and outside of school after you graduate, because every day you're expected to perform, but it's a lot better to at least know that you do acknowledge how I'm feeling.
Yeah. This next question kind of ties back to responsible decision making. When you were a high schooler, what is one decision you would change?
You know, you go.
Oh, I got. Yeah, you go first.
I'll just be honest. I probably wouldn't procrastinate and skip classes that I felt was least important, because I definitely used to skip class, although I'm a teacher now. But but yeah, I would definitely say be more intentional about life, because sometimes even today I struggle with making a decision completely all on my own, because it's like I know what choice I want to make, but the intent is not always clear. Like, I want to do this 100%, but then it's like if I do this, not knowing the outcome makes me sort of procrastinate and stuff like that. But in school, it was worse because, I mean, the outcome of not doing work is failing. But yeah, I could definitely say procrastination, like not procrastinating is the biggest thing.
I would say, if I'm being honest, I would say my behavior. I was a A student, but my behavior, it was...
So you were sort of like, because you knew your grades was good, you would just do whatever you wanted to?
And I think Yeah, and I feel like you said something about earlier, about not channeling your emotions in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like my anger was centered around, like, okay, so when my dad died when I was 10, I never really dealt with that. So I really carried that on to when I was in high school. So I feel like it turned from pain to anger. So my frustration and like just me being upset caused me to outlash. Like I would just, things would make me mad, then they make me mad. Now it doesn't even bother me now. But I think that's a more of a maturity thing, because now I know that certain things don't trigger me like they used to trigger me. So like, I just feel like that was something I wish I would have changed, is more so not acted out of emotion, but more of logic. And that really hindered me from being captain of the dance team the 12th grade year because of my actions that happened in 10th grade. So I tell students all the time, your actions do carry on more than you think. Because if you think that it's just going to be let go and slid under the rug, by the time you get to a certain age or a certain thing, it hinders you. Like, it really does.
I have a question. What advice can you give to students who act more based off like out off their emotions, instead of just like thinking about the consequences before things happen?
So something that I do with myself now is, people used to say like 1, 2, 3, and I used to be like, that don't work. Something that I do now is more so like center myself. So that could be 1, 2, 3. That could just be walking away. That could just be like taking a moment. And just really sitting in that. So I think that sometimes, and this is all started off, I noticed that a lot in high school is a lot of he said, she said. So when you go to the source is going to tell you something different. The resource is going to tell you what they want to tell you. So I feel like anytime you feel something, go to the source, not the resource, because the resource is only going to feed you information that you want to believe, versus the source who's going to tell you exactly how they're feeling. And I think that it's just miscommunication throughout school, in high school especially. Like, it's just miscommunication.
I agree. I feel like that's what starts a whole bunch of the fighting and all that goes around at our school. And it is so unnecessary, where you can just go to the person instead of just hearing what other people are saying.
And even if you navigate the situation, like more so if you feel like you're going to have an urgency to want to fight them, it's more so, hey, let me get somebody in that's an adult that can kind of navigate our conversation. Because I feel like sometimes when it's so heated and it's so like, again, the he said, she said, and it's carrying the baggage of like the idea that you already have of them, then it's going to already make you feel like, okay, well, whatever they say is going to be a lie. Instead, if you navigate that situation, you navigate that conversation, it makes a complete difference on the outcome versus just fighting and then what? That's what I had to learn. Fighting and then what? What we do after that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It doesn't change. Like, we fight each other, then nothing else happens. So if we keep fighting each other, it doesn't help. It really doesn't.
Yeah, it really doesn't lead anywhere.
Mm-mm.
It's crazy.
It just caused bigger problems. Now you're suspended. Now all of this is unnecessary.
And I think for me, it's all about being accountable, because I agree with what all three of you were saying about navigating the situation. But for me, sometimes it's more just about accountability, because if you be accountable for your not saying like with accountability as in it's your fault, but accountability as in, was I present? Did I have a role that I had to accept that, hey, this also plays a part in the way I feel here? Like, embarrassment is usually what people term as anger now in current time. because like if, for example, like what y'all was saying about if you do fight or it leads to a fight, the fight usually only happens when other people are around, because you can talk to this person and literally tell them about how you don't like them. You could also be accountable and talk about why you don't like them and how y'all can move forward. But the moment people come around and it's extra answers or he say like versus she say inside the air, it's like everybody is just on, you can't be bigger than me in this moment. It's all about like instant fame or instant gratitude, basically. And I think like if everybody just actually took accountability as into like, okay, yeah, I said this about Miss King, so I know why Miss King doesn't like me. It would be crazy to be upset about Miss King not liking me, or to feel like we have to fight when I know I've said something I can apologize for. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like once you get to the point of it being a misunderstanding, nobody wants to be accountable or be the bigger person and say, hey, let's gain some clarity here, instead of trying to add more confusion.
Yeah, I feel like some people take fighting like as fighting, they take that as that closure, but really you get closure from just having that one-on-one, literally just working it out.
Because you see why, like after a person fights, either they're going to have that conversation after, or they're going to hold on to that grudge that keeps holding on for a long period of time. And again, what does that do for you? It doesn't do anything. It hinders your mental health. It hinders just so many things. You're carrying that baggage on. So once you even get done fighting, you're still carrying the baggage that you initially started with, that could have been avoided by having a conversation. And like you said, accountability is everything. So it's not to say that it's your fault, it's my fault. It's more so like, hey, let's take accountability for what was said and what other people said, and then letting it in there versus going above and beyond.
This next question relates to relationship skills. How do you build and maintain healthy relationships with friends and family?
I would say for me, it's different with friends than it is with family, because with friends, it's like, well, first I'll say with family, it's like you're born with the family that you have. You don't have a say-so in it, so you learn to adjust and navigate depending on how people are or how certain things may trigger a person and stuff like that. But with friends, it's slightly different, because I have a choice to accept you into my space, my life, or anything. And it's like, if a person is behaving in a way that's opposite, that doesn't suit where you're trying to go in life, or it isn't prosperous, like it doesn't bring me any type of good feeling, good wealth, good health, anything, it's like, what good does it actually benefit you? Because oftentimes with friends are the only, like, it's like they're the anchor that we choose to drag on the back of us for life. Like, you can want to do something, but because you're trying to do it with your friends, sometimes you'll wait because they don't want to do it the same way you want to do it. And then at times, a lot of people are friends, but it's secretly competition, because like, you want to do it because you don't want me to do it without you. And if I do it without you, you don't want to, like, you're not going to congratulate it, even acknowledge it, because it's like, now the real side of you being a friend of folk shows. And for me, I just feel like with friends, I'm very selective and careful with it, because the biggest, like how we were saying, embarrassment, one of the biggest embarrassments, or I think painful experiences that we have in life, is when you allow somebody that was by your choice, your own accountability, to get close to you and it goes wrong. So I feel like with friends, it's like a careful selection. With family, it's like, that's how you are, but if you get in a way that's not beneficial to me, I also distance from them.
That's good. I was going to ask the host, how do you differentiate, like, who are your friends versus your associates here at Therrell?
I have like kind of a small group of friends, but I know a lot of people. So with my small group of friends, it's different from when, like, I have people that I just know, like acquaintances. Like with my small group of friends, I tell them about my personal life. Like, I don't joke around all the time. I like sit down, like have talks with them, like ask them, are they okay? But with like acquaintances, I'll just joke around, like
just for the good time, basically.
Yeah, because I don't have classes with all my best friends, so I'll just be joking around.
Yeah.
I would say, like, for me, I would say I know a lot of people to me are like associates because it's like for me a friend is like who's always there and don't just text me whenever they want to, or like in the summertime I feel like you really showed you who's your like really true friends or like associates.
You feel like I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you feel like basically like what you were saying with the summertime, because I'm just trying to get a better understanding, are you saying like it sort of exposed like distance will prove just like people are just like they're friends as long as you in their eyesight?
Yes, that's basically what I'm trying to say. I feel like for instance, I know we all have like our other stuff, we deal with, but I feel like if we're supposed to be friends, you have to meet me 50-50. And so I want this feel like the other person is overdoing the friendship or whatever. So it's just like, that's pretty much how I distinguish whether or not, oh, you're my friend, you're my associate. Because a lot of people, true colors really show when you're like in distance from them for a long time.
Yeah, I want to agree with Shania. Like, summertime is when you actually like you test the relationship that you have with somebody. Because in middle school, I thought I had like a really close group of friends, and then nobody texted me over the summer except like 2 people. But now that I'm in high school, I'm more select with who I choose as a friend, and we had a lot of fun over the summer.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How did you feel when they didn't text you?
I kind of felt abandoned, but when they did that, I kind of started to realize, like, in our interactions, like what I said, like, we were just joking around. Like, I didn't, like, really talk with them. Like,
so basically you accepted accountability for your role also in even thinking that, and that allowed you to move forward. Yeah.
I have another question.
I got one quick question, and it's pertaining to you mostly. How do you handle your emotional battles in school? Because it's many that arise for me as a teacher. Like, and sometimes it's not all like directly my emotions. It's more like because we're a shoulder to lean on and the ear to talk to. It's like sometimes you hear stuff you don't want to hear. Like, not necessarily as in like I'm scared to hear it, but you can be in a good mood and it can just shift the way that you're feeling at the moment, because sometimes everybody goes through really like extremely bad situations in life, and sometimes like you just get random information and sometimes it's directly for you. How do you handle that?
I would just say for me, something like that happened like today and like this week. I just been trying to take things one step at a time. And just like, just trying to stay positive overall, because it's like, you don't want to just like one small event or something just blow your whole mood or just like upset you. And, that's just basically how I take and I look at everything. Just like, it's not the end of the world. If something happens, oh well, this is just a part of life. You just gotta,
And my question for you is, do you think that from what she's saying, do you think that you could take her answer or her response and apply it to life going forward?
Yeah, I definitely could apply that. I also wanted to say that, like, with some emotional battles in school, like, people don't appreciate their parents that much, because some people, they don't talk to their parents. They just go home, they just go up to their room and then just chill.
Yeah.
But after I come home from school, like, my parents, they, like, ask me questions about how my day was, did anything happen? And it really helps, like, emotionally, because you know somebody is there, like, caring about you and loving you.
Yeah.
I agree, too. I do that with my mom every time because I stay after school. She asks me on the way home from school. We just do, like, a
wellness check?
Yeah, a wellness check. She just makes sure we're good mentally, physically, nothing is bothering us. And she, as an older person, she just gives us better advice on advice of how we can handle situations that we are going through. So,
yeah, well, they've been in high school. I was saying, because they've been in high school, like, they've gone through all this before, and they know how they got through it and how they can help us work through it.
Yeah. I think that's very important, because even to this day, and I'm sure Ms. King can agree, like, it may seem like once you get older, because I know sometimes, like, even when we were kids, like, you always going to hear, I wish I was grown, or I'm ready to grow up. And you'll never honestly reach another moment outside of high school after you graduate where people that you don't know from a can of paint before you started that school year genuinely care about you and still offer advice. Because even to this day, like, I even ask Ms. King for advice sometimes on how to deal with stuff emotionally, like, especially like last year, because myself personally, like, I didn't always have wellness checks growing up. So it's like, for me, I still had to look for advice that I could have gained when I was younger. But at the same time, although I have the title of a teacher, I'm still a student also. I'm always learning in life. And I think, like, being acceptable or like being able to receive it. So I guess being receptible to it, information or advice, is also very important, like, moving forward at any age or aspect of life.
I agree.
Yeah, me too. Let me find this. So for social awareness, how do you show empathy towards others in your daily interactions?
I feel like I show too much empathy sometimes. I more so receive a number of situations throughout the day, and I can think that, okay, nobody's gonna, excessively talk to me today, and then boom, and then it keeps happening back to back. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a light day. Don't have to talk down anybody. It's gonna be cool. And then next thing you know, I'm getting a knock at the door, like, Miss King, I need your help. Like, something wrong. And I'm like, okay, what's wrong? And then I'm, trying to hear them out. Not trying to, but I'm hearing them out. And I'm just trying to gather that space for them to receive it and also to respond. And sometimes they're not looking for a response. And I noticed that as well. So I think my empathy is that I know when a response is needed and when they just need a listening ear. So I differentiate the difference based on their response to what they're about to say or what they're saying. It's like, do you need the teacher me? Do you need the mama me? Or do you need just me? So I kind of ask them that, do you need me, the teacher me, or the mama me?
I like that.
I have a question for the both of you. How do you feel about being one of the trusted adults here at Therrell High School that students can go to when they just need to vent and get stuff off their chest?
I think it can be a lot to carry, especially with, like, this is me and Spaulding's, like, second year. So it's like, for so many students to, like, still come to me, even though they, just met me last year, or, even new students who are becoming very accommodated with me. They're just like, oh, like, you're really like that. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't, I don't try to come off that way. It's just like a natural thing that I've always, like, inherited for so long that it's just, like, natural to me. I feel like it's a blessing, but it can also contain a lot because, sometimes I have to make hard decisions that I'm like, I don't want to make a decision for you, but I want to make the best decision for your best interests. So it's more so sometimes you make those hard decisions where it's like, okay, something ain't right. And then you acknowledge that, and it's just more so like, okay, how do I deal with this?
I would say for me, I honestly enjoy it more than I thought I would last year, because, like what Ms. King was saying, last year it's like I'm dealing with 90 different stories, 90 different problems, and it's every day. And it's just like, and then sometimes it's 180 problems in one day because the students that don't see me on that day still come back to give me more information on how the problem either furthered and grew into a bigger problem, or they listened to the first bit of advice I gave and changed it. So I would say it's very rewarding. It's equally rewarding to just like when a student is struggling with a problem and we actually we gain like retention of the concept or mastery of the skill like together, like, and they actually see like, oh, I'm growing from here to up here now. So it's actually like a self-rewarding thing. It can also be draining at times, but honestly, it's like knowing that some people don't have anybody to talk to at times, and that's sort of how like I wouldn't say raised, but that's how I grew up, because I grew up in a single parent home, and it's harder to have self-checks when I have 3 other siblings also, and then my mother has to work and make everything happen as far as necessity. It's kind of hard to get a check when people aren't there all the time. So like I do know that being that some kids are growing up in this like relatability also, I think is what makes me like welcome it, because I know when I was growing up, it could be something as simple as like I score a touchdown in a football game. I'm still looking for somebody to talk to about it. It doesn't feel as good if nobody else congratulates you. You don't feel understood if nobody hears you. Like, yes, you can write out how you feel and stuff, but it's rewarding on both ends to be the person that needs advice and the person to give it, because it's almost like shaping or molding somebody into a better person, and they won't even realize it sometimes.
Yeah. I feel like for me, like growing up, like my mom was still trying to get her degree. She was like a young woman. And my grandma was there, and then I had my 2 young uncles. Like I was trying to like talk to them, but they were always kind of busy because they were either in school or at work. So I kind of found comfort in like, gonna sound kind of corny, but I kind of found comfort in like TV shows like Cartoon Network and what was the other one? I don't remember. But stuff like that, I really just like tried to connect with the characters, and I saw the struggles they were going through, and I kind of applied that to myself. Kind of gave me comfort.
I don't think that's corny. I think that's normal, and that's everyday life. Truthfully, it's just you don't notice it with most people. Like, what do we run to sort of subside pain or an uneasy feeling? But truthfully, it makes more sense because it's easier to motivate yourself when you have a picture or an image. It's kind of hard to just go off of words when, like, say if you were like 9 years old and somebody telling you like you better than that, and you just crying, your feelings just hurt. You just like better than what? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot easier to see like through a cartoon or any type of visual representation. You see a challenge presented to a character or a person that you relate to, and you see how they overcome it. It can then relate to how you pick apart your problems in life and use those same aspects there.
I got a question for both of y'all too. How'd you know you were gonna become teachers?
We did.
Yeah, I was finna go into the Air Force, and I was just like, let me try teaching. But really, I applied for the job, and I'm gonna be honest, I was like, they're not gonna hire me, so I know I'm finna go into the Air Force. And then, lo and behold, Dr. White and Dr. Edwards hired me on the spot at a hiring fair just because they liked me. I didn't go to school I don't have general education as a 4-year degree or not even an associate's degree. I went to school for business, and they literally asked me, hey, do you think you could teach algebra? I said, yes. The school year started, they said, you're teaching geometry. And I said, okay.
We go with the flow.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was intentional and went to the job interview because my sister is a first grade teacher. And she had been a teacher for 2 years already, and she was just like, just try it out. And I'm like, I don't know about this. So then I went to the interview, same. Dr. Edwards was like, yeah, we need you. And he was like, can you teach English? And I'm like, sure. Because I had a communications degree, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna study, figure it out. So here I am, second year. I'm just rocking out. I'm excited though.
Let me pull up.
I have a question. Yeah. When you see teachers have a conflict with students, how do you feel about that? Like, when some teachers are being wrong, how do you think students should go about like addressing the situation?
My first answer is to like, what do I think when I see them having a conflict? I think, truthfully, they probably gonna cut this, but I think the teacher be childish because accountability means that every day I know I wake up to come in here to do what? Be the adult, be the bigger person, to be present even when I don't want to be, and to come in here and do anything less than that means that I'm playing myself every morning.
So I had this conversation. Actually, a student asked me this before, and she was like, "So what do I do?" And I'm just like, cause she was like, "I don't want to, I don't want to be rude. I was raised right, and things like that." But what she did kind of offended me, and I was just like, sometimes you have to be the adult when the adult don't want to be the adult, and unfortunately, that's unfortunate. But again, we're in high school, so we're going to experience things where we have to be the adult in the situation, whether we want to or not. Because just think about when you're the older sibling and you have a younger sibling, you're going to take up for them. You're going to always make sure that they're okay and that they're taken care of. So it's just kind of like that same scenario. You have to kind of step it up when somebody wants to be the person who doesn't want to be the adult in the situation. I know that's unfortunate, but we do experience things like that.
And my remedy to like, what do I think the student should do in that situation? Sometimes you have to learn to level with people, like as in, you can see like, say like if I came up to you one day and it's just like every time I say something, you're combative, like you wanna mouth off and stuff, like you letting it be known. But then if I came to you and I just tapped you and I said, "Hey, how are you doing today? Are you okay?" That would completely change the whole entire interaction. People don't understand that just because somebody's up here, it don't mean I have to meet you up here for us to be equal. I can bring you down closer to my level or my energy level, which resolves confrontation face to face.
I feel like I agree with both of you guys, because I feel like a lot of teachers, I feel like they don't be in students' shoes, I should say. I feel like teachers just think, oh, they're always right because they're adults and they're not just like, I don't think they listen to what like the student is actually saying. They just think, oh, because I'm a teacher, I'm an adult, everything I say and do is right. And I feel like students have a problem with that. So I think that's what starts a lot of the conflict with students.
Yeah, I know exactly which teacher you're talking about too. Like,
so can I ask this then? Would you say that it seems like with a lot of teachers, it's not even a thing of like trying to, it's more of like my way or no way? And it seems like it's pride more than just actual like interactions and stuff. It's just like, it's gonna be my way because I can't let you run, like I can't let you feel like you in control at any aspect of it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say that's a better way to put it. A lot of teachers just say, oh, my way, like, I don't want to say them names. It's a certain class where we have to do certain things for, and I know teachers like to have order and they like to do certain things, but I feel like
you should have more input on what you do.
yeah.
Because this is our learning environment, and we need to, if we can't learn a type of way, we need to try to work around it so we can all better, like it can be a better space and, for us all.
So if you had more input, what do you feel like students overall would be more open to, the actual, just the thought of knowing that, hey, I got to come back here tomorrow or I'll be here in a couple hours in the morning. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that would basically foster a lot better relationships with majority of the staff and students?
Yes, I feel like it would make it like more like a bonding thing, because I know with me, with a lot of my teachers, I don't want to have a bond with them. I don't want to just be like,
They taught me.
Yeah, like, this.
Yeah.
I would like having bonds with my teachers, and it builds, how should I say it? It's like it builds
A connection.
It builds a connection between the two. Whenever you may need anything, they're always there. So just like, you're able to, I feel like if students have like you said, more input into things, I feel like students will come off more differently when they have more impact. You make them feel heard in situations.
So what I'm hearing is you really would not prefer, but you just want open suggestions, like where it's not one way or the highway, but it's more so like an opportunity for, hey, can we do this more so like a visual type of learner? Because I know something that I like to do in my class is like, what type of learner are you? So then I kind of do my lesson plans around that based on what you tell me your type of learning skills are. So I think what I'm hearing is you more so would like a different perspectives or different ways that the activities can be fostered versus more so like, hey, it's this way, and if you can't learn it, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my question for both of y'all would be, with accepting the role or the responsibility of having more input, would you also say that it's very important to have prior actions that align with the look of what you're trying to make it to, with the final picture of what you're trying to have the outcome of? Like, if you want more input, you have to also address the elephant in the room about, if we give input to every student, would you say that everybody behaves in a way that they should have more input? Because, sometimes you give people an inch and they take a mile, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I feel like that is one of the main reasons, too, why teachers don't really allow students input, because some students, they go overboard. Like, teachers give us freedom and they just do way more stuff. Like, I think that's why some teachers kind of restrict not caring what the students say because of other student actions that has happened.
So my follow-up would be, so do you, I guess it's not a question, more of a statement, and you can tell me if you agree, would it be more productive then, like, with the more input being wanted, basically it could be, I guess this outcome could be reached by better fostering relationships of trust, because it all falls down to trust and accountability then again, because it's like, last time I let you go to the bathroom, I didn't put the time on there and you was gone for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And it's like, I know some students look at it as like, dang, man, you gonna rush me to go to the bathroom too? But in reality, it's more of you're missing information while you're gone. But the emotions make you just respond with about the bathroom. It's bigger than just the bathroom. But so then you go for 10 minutes. So next time it's 5 minutes. Once you start coming back before time and stuff like that, it builds a relationship where if you're like, hey, can I go to the restroom? I don't have to necessarily just monitor you walk down the hallway every time now. You get what I'm saying? You think that would help, like, actually, if staff and students were more actually like intentional on the interactions that we have and how we actually view those interactions and stuff?
I agree. I think that will actually fix everything. Yeah.
I feel like there are some teachers who are like, they're too lenient. Mm-hmm. Like, they'll just let you do whatever. And then there are teachers that are too strict. Mm-hmm. Like, one of my favorite teachers, like, well, there's like a midpoint. Like, one of my favorite teachers, they, like, the first day in class, she said, hey, my name is this and this. Let's come up with some rules for my class. Like, we can all have input, and then we can put that into action. So we did the rules, and like, we learned a lot in that class because she actually listened to us. She listened to what we needed, and she didn't let us do whatever, but she still like kind of gave us some, I want to say self. Like,
so she sort of gave you like your own lifeline, but still had expectations of you.
Yeah. I just had one pull it up. So, okay. So during high school, like, how did you find your group? Like, how did you know, like, oh, this is who I'm gonna hang out with, this is who I'm gonna be around for high school?
I ain't friends with none of them no more. Except oh, so I didn't make some wise decisions in high school, I can honestly say. Well, I mean, we had already, we went to middle school together, so it kind of just like carried on to high school. I don't. I just would say honestly, on my part, I didn't take accountability, and I just kind of let things escalate throughout high school. So it was more so, I just didn't take accountability. I just kind of let things go how they went, and I didn't hold people accountable either. So that was something that, as an adult, I'm like, yeah, I'm holding you accountable and myself accountable. So I think that's something that I could have definitely improved in high school, is more so just taking accountability on my part and on the other's part. As far as like, I got a car early, so it was more so like, now I got all these friends, and then we packed up in this car. But again, you young and you're just like, oh, these my friends, and we going here and there, and we would do things together and things like that, and we would hang out all year round. But it's just still like, people had characteristics that just didn't align with me, because again, I was one of those kids that was really smart, but just behavior just was out the roof. Now, on the other hand, you would have some of my friends who did not perform very well, and also behavior-wise, I'm just like, we actually wasn't clicking like I thought we was.
For me, everybody that I'm friends with now from high school, they didn't like me at first. And it was just simply because I was new to the school. I used to move around a lot when I was younger, and it just seemed like being a new girl at school, like from my perspective, it's like, it's cool, you're popular. Being the new guy, I'm popular, but every boy dislikes me just for being new at the school. So it was like, honestly, I think most of my friends, we either almost fought, and then we became friends, or either they just said something like, as a group, they would say stuff to me and think I'm going to like back down and stuff. And it's just like, I would rather be friends with people that challenge me than everybody that's like me, because then I never hear that I'm wrong. Like, I prefer to have people that's honest and that's their own individual person. Like, yeah, you become friends with people that think alike or act alike or like the same things that you favor in life, but in reality, it's like, I don't need a yes man. Like, we do that for ourselves in our head, being self-righteous in times when we know we're wrong. I actually want somebody that tells me like, hey, I know you wasn't saying this out of a bad place, but you wrong. Because oftentimes, like, you have people that'll sit around you, and not even in a bad way, they'll lie for you in a good way. You'll be like, hey, you remember we did this, and you never did it. Like, it's like, you're not helping me in life. You're actually you're feeding into my delusion. Like, and I don't need people like that around me. So I just would say, like, in high school early on, I just picked people who were like, you have your own mindset. Like, say if, for instance, like, if I wanted to be a basketball player, you don't want to do none of that. You want to weld or something like that. That's cool. I don't want to be friends with only basketball players. You get what I'm saying? Because I need to see a different option of life. I need to understand that it's more than just what I think is the only way.
Yeah, my stepdad, he like a kind of quiet guy, but his friends like real loud. But I be sitting at the table with them, and they be like getting into arguments because they're like complete opposites, and I can see like how they build off each other, how they kind of start to realize like this is like right, but I can still add my kind of own thing to it.
I would say that's kind of how I am with my friend. So, bro, he's like the rowdy one, the one that just don't care what said, we're gonna say whatever it's like with mine. And I'm the type of person that's like, no, you need to think before you do this. You know, sour conflict. We don't have time for none of that.
You feel like it's a balance of
Yeah, I feel like it's a good balance because he encouraged me to do stuff and then I encourage him to not do stuff that don't sound good to do. Just like it's a good balance between, you know, having fun and, you know.
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel like that is important though, because truthfully, like if we both like have the same mentality behind everything and we both just driving like we going down the wrong road, we'll never turn it around, because you're going to always feed into what I'm doing and I'm going to always feed into what you're doing, because it's like friends often like I ask my friends even to this day, like if I wasn't the type of person that like, if I don't do what you do, like if you like playing games, if I don't play games, then how do we continue growing into a friendship? How do we continue growing? Because a lot of people, it's like you realize the associates, when you get older, it just turn into people that's around for a good time. They're not actually friends. It's like, hey, y'all want to go to the party? Yeah, I know a group of people that always go out and party. I'm not going. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because we're not actually friends. And it's like, yeah, we're there all on one accord, but the moment we take out this commonality, we're strangers.
Yeah, I feel like part of having friends is like really having someone you can grow together with, not somebody that you just around because you bored, like you just want to have fun.
Yeah, I agree.
So do you think students should have like a diverse friendship?
I think so. You think so? I was gonna say I believe so, because I have friends who are more so like they like, you know, to party, and that's not how I am, but they know that when we hang out, we're doing something else. We're not doing that. But I think that good balance between like you have somebody who's super fun and then you have somebody who's a little chill, it kind of brings you out of that chill, because, you know, if you take life so serious, then you never get the opportunity to see what life will bring to you. So I think that balance of having those type of friends who, you know, bring out the best in you, but they also encourage you and then they motivate you as well, but also call you out when you're wrong. Because I used to love those type of friends that always agree with me. Now, tell me the truth. I'll be like, tell me the truth. Don't tell me a lie. Tell me the truth. Am I wrong or am I not? And I just say, don't look at it from me being your friend. Look at it from the point of view of just like if you were outside looking in, how would you feel?
Yeah, I agree with what you and Shania said about like friends pushing each other to do different types of things. Cause I'm kind of like quiet. Like I'm not confrontational. I don't want like no smoke. But I got this real confrontational person that kind of like pushes me to like take up for myself when like say if I didn't get the food I wanted at a restaurant, like they'll say, go tell me you didn't get your food. Don't just stay there and eat that nasty stuff. But yeah, I feel like it's good to have friends that kind of push you to be a better version of yourself.
It's crazy because in my head, I was thinking about that exact example is why you need a diverse friend group, because you have to have, like, we look at it as like how people act, but you want to have different friend groups basically for the perspectives or emotions that you may not be that strong in, or the actions you may not be that strong in, because a lot of times a lot of people don't like to have a hype man, but truthfully, we all need a hype man at times. It can be something as simple as like you want a model and you chose the model. I'm just a friend that's going to say, man, if you don't put that dress on and get out there, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because oftentimes you just need that. It's like, it's no different than asking somebody, coming up to somebody and being like, hey, I'm hungry. What you want to eat? You're not hungry because you don't know what you want to eat. Now you need me for that input. That is what you need a diverse friend group for, because it's like, I know personally, I'm just like you. because it's food, and I just feel like once the food go back, I don't want it to go back, and they be feeling some type of way, because then I don't want it.
They be spending your food.
Yeah,
out.
so
I didn't think about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I be like, hey, like, I need somebody to tell them, like, if my sister's gonna tell them, but I need my friends, I need somebody to be like, hey, this order room, because I'm the type to just be like, I don't want it. Like, I just be like, I don't want it.
But I be doing my sister like that. So like me and my sister used to get our nails done all the time together. And she'll be like, she'll look at it, and I know her face expression when she don't like it. She was like, I mean, it's fine. I said, excuse me, ma'am. She didn't like her nails, so I need something. But it's more so, I think, yes, we need those type of friends, but also the way you address it. Because I feel like those individuals who are very rude with it, I'm not asking you to take up for me physically, like beat them up over the food. I'm like, it's never that serious. So I have experienced that in college where I did have a friend, like, and I think she would more so want to do that to get the food free versus like actually not experience good service, because all of a sudden she would just get mad. And I'm just like, if you couldn't pay for your food, just say that. Not causing a whole scene like, this chicken ain't right, like yelling and doing all that. That type of friend I can't have, because yes, it's two different type of ways to go into the situation, and I'm not looking for you to outburst on these people, even if they a little rude.
And I agree with that, because I'm the same way. Like, I don't mind you saying like, hey, the food not right, but like if it's, for instance, like you in a drive-through, everybody know it's one window here and one window here. Nobody knows what's going on in that gap of that brick wall right there. And I just be like, be a little bit more intelligent,
right,
like, about how you approach your demands. Like, so I think that's very like key in the diversity that you like in the friend group, like to understand, like, if you speaking up for me, do it in the manner that's suitable for me. Because secondhand embarrassment can also come from things where you feel like you're trying to benefit somebody, and you have people like, you'll just be like, what I do? But it's like, if you're still my friend, yes, you can speak for me or, you know, have my back, but do it in the way that I would have yours. I wouldn't, like, if you don't like for people to make a scene when they trying to de-escalate a situation, I wouldn't come trying to break up like a situation or something like that, or separate you from arguing with somebody and try to yell, because that's escalating the situation. It's like, I think the biggest thing about our friend group is you want to have somebody that's just as mindful or thoughtful about you that you are of them.
I agree.
Yeah, I kind of feel like kind of building off friendships. There are some people who like rely too much on their friends, like kind of back to the restaurant example, like they'll let them take up for them instead of taking up for themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's good to have a friend that knows that you need to take up for yourself instead of just doing everything for you, because then that builds bad habits.
Yeah.
Too. And I see that with school too. A lot of people, they rely on their friends to help them with schoolwork. There's everything in general. And just like, when are you going to do your stuff? When are you going to take accountability to do your own stuff and not put as much pressure or as such, not put your own problems on the other person, because we all have our own problems we go through it.
Can I ask y'all something? To kind of add to that, have you ever kind of piggyback off somebody like Ario? Are you both in the 10th grade? Mm-hmm. Ninth grade year, did you ever experience yourself kind of being too
reliant on somebody?
Relying on somebody.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to work on it now, but now that I look back on it, my mom kind of does like a lot of things for me. She's a planner. Like, she'll give me a list, say, go do this, because I forget a lot of stuff. Like, if you just tell me what to do, like a bunch of different things, I'm not going to remember. So I'm trying to like work on kind of having ways for myself to better remember like what people tell me to do, and kind of make plans for myself instead of just relying on her to do everything for me.
So just a rebuttal to kind of add on to that. So What do you feel like is a good trait that you already have that you can incorporate to actually start doing that yourself?
I feel like I'm kind of good at like breaking down what people say, but I just don't like. It's kind of hard for me to like make that list, but I can like break down what people say. I kind of make like a visual thing, like, oh, I gotta take out the trash, and but I just can't like remember it.
So have you ever experienced like maybe trying? So something that I do, because I don't forget, but sometimes I'll be too many different places. So what I'll do is soon as I think about it, I put it in my notes. And then like I have a note that says, you need to do this, or this needs to be done by this day. This kind of gives me a ringer and a reminder that, hey, I need to do this, this, and that. Just to kind of give myself like accountability while also showing myself like ways that work for me. But I know you'll figure out a way that works for you, but that's just a suggestion to kind of like in your notes on your phone, just kind of like type it. Or even if it's a friend that you know that will hold you accountable, just text down. And I always pin it, and then I remember.
Yeah, I've been trying to use the notes app, like the little bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be trying to like check it off one by one, and then I'll forget about the notes app. But I'm getting better with like checking it.
I'm gonna tell you what to do that work well for me being a male, and I know like sometimes like it's just the fact of like they just talk like, cause my mom used to do the same thing. It's like you just give me a whole list, and the moment like she finished, I'd be like tapping my finger and I'm listening to what she's saying. She finished, I'd be like, okay, the first thing was take out the trash, prioritize it. So set an alarm that got a different message on each one. Did you take out the trash? So when the alarm go off, all you have to do is look at the phone. You walk to the trash can.
I think, no, because what both of you guys said, I really do agree. I feel like with me, I'm in a lot of clubs, and then on top of trying to maintain my grades and etc., I think me prioritizing what classes, like, I know all classes are important, but prioritize what I think should come first is what helps me a lot. And organizing in my planner, I think that's what keeps me organized and more like prepared and don't seem like I'm ready, when stuff happens.
Yeah, because I feel like if you prioritize it, like you treat it as like, because what you were saying, like with being involved in a lot of things is basically like you're already getting started to prepare for college life or life after high school, because that's basically how you'll be maintaining life for the rest of your life. Truthfully, you'll have stuff where you have to be present physically, and you'll have stuff where you need to turn in things. You get what I'm saying? So like with me in college, how I told you my biggest thing was procrastination, it really carried over into college. You'll find me doing a 9-page paper the day it's due. You get what I'm saying?
I'm bitter.
Yeah, so the best thing to do is like, okay, if I got a recital at 5, I have to be there physically. I got a paper due at 5:30. That means before 4 o'clock, at least I need to already be getting this paper turned in, because I can't turn it in at the same time if you're on the stage. And you get what I'm saying? Like, look at it from a realistic standpoint. Like, you got 3 papers due, but they due at different dates and stuff. Why not start on the one that's due first? Because the later paper you'll still be working on, and the date already passed, you'll already have a grade for others. You get what I'm saying? Like, prioritize stuff as in like, what can you get done first?
Yeah, I feel like that's what's really going to help you stay successful with stuff that you do, regardless of you and this life in general, because you have to learn, like, and like you said, prioritize what's important first. Like, for instance, if I'm going to say, let's do real world scenario. If you have a bill that's due, like, we're gonna say today, but you have another one that's due like next week or so, but you only have the money, but you need to pay both, but you only have the money to pay one. You need to pay what's like, I would say you pay what's most important first, so you want.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And budget, because what I notice is that As you get older and you didn't budget in life, it's harder to financially see what your finances actually look like when you don't budget. And I noticed that something that really has changed the game for me was when I started budgeting. And like every time I would get the bill for next month, I would go ahead and put it on my calendar. So like say they start sending out all the bills, at the end of the month for the beginning of the month. I will already put the bills on there on my budget planner, and that would be like a keynote, like, hey, and then I'll just mark it off as I go. So if my bill is due on the 18th, but I get paid on the 12th, why would I wait to the 18th to pay the bill? I pay the bill on the 12th when I get paid, because if I wait, then my mental brain would say, oh, I got extra money. No, you don't have extra money. That is for a bill. So that was something that really changed the game for me, because I'm not going to lie. Some months I would be late on my phone bill. I'm like, how am I late on my phone bill? And it would just be like, I wasn't budgeting, nor I would just keep mentally putting it in my head, but then I'll forget about it. Then the bill done already passed and then I'm late. So it was more so like when I get paid, that's when all the bills get paid. I pay myself after that. I don't pay myself before that, because I noticed that when I pay myself before that, then I get off track.
I'm gonna ask, like going out of high school, like even in high school, like what are some things you can do to prepare to like kind of get yourself ready for that adulthood, like going to college, starting a business, I don't know, doing a sport, whatever you would do, some skills you would have.
What I would do to prepare, I guess on the sports level to prepare, I would basically just whatever conditioning and like workout routine that we would have going into college, I'm already trying to get access to it before I even arrive there later on in the summer, because you're entering into the real world where everybody, like in high school, everybody starts the race the same step. In the real world, people are given advantages just based off of, family history, family lineage and stuff. Yeah. That's being grandfathered in, basically. But it's like everybody doesn't have that luxury. So I guess you want to try to catch up, or not even catch up. You want to always be better than yourself, because you don't want to focus on competing with the outside world. But at the same time, as long as you self-improve, if somebody's being stagnant and you constantly moving forward, you're still moving faster than them. Even if they started off before you, you'll catch them at some point. So I think just always staying focused on self and being clear on where you want to, or at least having some type of clarity, because life is a learning experience. You won't always be 100% correct or clear on what you want to do, but just being some type of like intentional on the direction of like the plans that you set for yourself. Like the saying where make sure you can handle everything that you ask for, I basically just live by that, because you'll find yourself at times just begging like, I just want to be rich. I want to be rich. Yada, yada. I give y'all an example. Right before I came here, like probably 6 months before I started working here, I was praying and I told God I want to drive a foreign car. I was working at Amazon driving the Mercedes-Benz vans. So you have to be careful what you ask for and also be appreciative for what you're trying to obtain. Because, yeah, I definitely didn't mean the van for Amazon, but it's an experience to show you, like, hey, be direct and be intentional.
What's your dream car?
My dream car, a Dodge. I like Dodge Durangos. Like, I want a Hellcat. That's it. I don't even want it to go fast. I just want it because I just want to hear your purr. That's it. My last, I wouldn't say necessarily my last question, but my question for y'all would be to us as a younger generation, because often, like when we young, especially myself, I can relate, like myself personally, I would feel like it's like I don't know a lot, or it's like I don't really have the room to give advice or to give a word of like encouragement. But what would be your words of advice to our generation or just to us personally? Because you have to think your life from how we experience life is different. Like y'all came into the world basically with technology. I can remember coming across cell phones.
Me too.
And then them upgrading into the touch screen where it was actually just a circle of touch and, you know. So what would be your advice?
I feel like being a teacher, like I see some teachers like they'll help out the smart kids more than the kids. It's like
Struggling.
yeah. Like I feel like encouraging kids that's not doing as well to get them on the same level as other people is like the best thing you can do. Cause I'll be doing the work and then the teacher come like he'll like give words of encouragement to me. He'd be like, "Oh, you did a good job," and then my friend will be struggling, and then I'm gonna say he need help, and then he'll be like, "He can figure it out." He'll come ask me.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
I would say on words of encouragement, I would say kind of what he said, you know, but kind of not.
Oh, kind of not.
So, like, I would say, like,
It doesn't even have to be from a teacher perspective. It can just be like life advice that you feel like maybe some people our age miss out on or don't have.
I would say don't put too much pressure on yourself to try to know or learn everything. I say that because like a lot of teachers, they be like, "Oh, I don't know how to work technology," or "I have to learn this." Like I know my mom because she works like she works at home. She works from home. So she try to put so much pressure on herself to try to learn how to do this and learn how to do that. I say you should, you know, be open. She is very open because I'll stay helping her. And I say you just lean on the younger generation to help you learn more stuff.
I feel like I heard somebody say this today, like our generation, we were in COVID, so we had to use technology. Like we were on Zoom calls, we had to play on PS5, we couldn't go outside. So I feel like to teachers, it's just like, why are you on your phone all the time? But we'll actually be like in the Google Classroom, we'll be seeing what we got missing. So I feel like, well, not just teachers, but just like adults in general can be more open to technology and accept the fact that like humans are evolving. Like,
yeah, it is a part of society.
Yeah,
it's a lot of things.
I agree with that, but I also want to add that I believe, and this is for me, I'm very open to technology, but what I notice is that sometimes students don't utilize the technology that they have right in front of them. And what I mean by that is, say if you don't know a word, or say if you don't know how to say something, I mean, I still use it to this day. I talk to Siri. I get on Google, like type in the word, try to figure it out. I'm someone who tries to figure it out first before I ask the question, but I know everybody is not like that. But I'm all for technology. But I also want students to start using the technology in the right way, because you can say, "Oh, I don't know this word." Then you just sit there. And I'm like, "Did you use Siri?" And they're like, "What's Siri?" I'm like, "But ain't you?" You know, you are the more tech savvy, so utilize the technology that's right in front of you. You got a phone, you got an iPad, you got the technology right in front of you. So I think it's just more so utilizing it in the right way, because then you ask me, then you go on Instagram or you go on TikTok. That's how you gonna learn from there.
Yeah, I feel like I struggle with that a lot because my phone be right there, but I feel like I feel like I understand it better when it's coming from a person. But now we can like talk to AI, like it's gonna tell you exactly what it means, like where it came from, and you can always like trust the answer.
Not
To an
always
extent.
Yeah, to it. I'm gonna say
I teach. Yeah, I was about to say I teach math, and dealing with polynomials, which where you have to include like math expressions that have variable exponents. A lot of the answers is zero from AI. It's never zero in class. I literally I will let them cheat on something that's not even for a grade, and they'd be like, "This what I got," and I'd be like, "You really think it's zero?" nothing even looks like it's canceling out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like a smartphone or technology is only as intelligent as the person utilizing it. But I would say my advice to you all as a younger generation growing up, because you actually will be at one point like the infrastructure, you already becoming the infrastructure, basically the builders of the future society. Basically, I would say to prepare for success, because often we don't realize it, but doing nothing, you are preparing to fail. Because when I was in high school, my principal used to say, by failing to prepare, we are preparing to fail. So basically, if I sit around, I do nothing, and I know stuff is due, yeah, I know it's due, but if I don't do anything, I am accepting the failure. So to turn around and be like, hey, why my grade like this? Be accountable. You know why your grade is like, You get what I'm saying? So I would say just be responsible for yourself more than anything right now while you're young, while your actions don't necessarily, the consequences don't always fall on you. Because, like a fight in the real world, a fight in school is ISS or OSS. A fight in the real world is usually penalties, money, like, you get what I'm saying? It's more like the same things that you practice now, whether it's good or bad. Look at the bigger version or what it will turn into when you get older now, and make your decisions early, because sometimes actions don't allow for decisions to be made after.
Mm-mm. I agree. I definitely agree with that. I believe strongly that the decisions that you make today will determine your decisions for tomorrow. And the more that you carry that with you, the more you will start thinking about what you're thinking about. And the more you will start to think about, my actions does have consequences. And if I make that choice just because it's convenient right now, will it be convenient for me in a year? Will it be convenient for me in 2 years? And just think about those things when you are making decisions or you're making those hard decisions. Will this benefit me in the right way, or will this negatively impact me in the future? Because a lot of times we do carry those barriers and those things that we carry from high school into adulthood. Because like Spaulding said, once you get out of high school, life starts. Life already started, but life really starts. And once you leave these premises, it really okay, what I'm going to do? Okay, if I already carry these bad habits, I'm going to carry those bad habits until I make the decision that this bad habit is not going to hinder me any longer.
Yeah, I'm still trying to work on kind of having that foresight to see if I do this, if I eat this right now, my stomach gonna hurt later.
Hey,
but that's real.
I mean, snacking.
We be doing the same thing. Yeah.
But the way that I apply it though, I apply everything basically in you've heard the word of, you've heard the saying, use common sense, right? But people usually think that you mean sense as in sensible knowledge, up here. I refer to it as common sense as in sense, money, because knowledge is not so common amongst everybody, because everybody's not interested in learning anything, truthfully. But money makes the world go around. Just think about, would it benefit my pockets? Yeah, I don't like this person, but if I punch him, this is $1,000 charge. You get what I'm saying?
True.
And it's if you start to look at life like this, me arguing with them, does it pay me? I don't do anything but lose a piece of sanity arguing with people. You get what I'm saying? If you just start to apply, look at it as a business transaction. Are you moving forward by doing this? Am I staying in the same space? Because staying in the same space is no different than just being behind, because you can jog in place and go nowhere.
Yeah, I see. I agree with that. That's something that I'm slowly learning on how to do. Is this really worth my time? Am I really about to stress over this? Okay, I got this grade on this assignment. It was okay, for instance, in Spanish class, we took a test and I got my score back and I was like, oh my God, this about to bring my grade down. But I'm just you know what? I have plenty of the time to bring it back up, so I'm not finna stress about it. Everything gonna work out. And everything did end up working out. My grade didn't drop. It was just everything ended up working out.
Yeah, I feel instead of asking how did this happen? Like, how can we fix it? Like since you got that grade, does she have a tutorial or anything?
She actually do have tutorial.
Oh yeah, so like
I'm one of them people, like, you ever notice that when you call the people that most people say are mean are the people that don't mind being honest with everybody. So I've always been the person where like how you were saying I hope she don't see this. I was one of those people, like, even when my grandmother would like catch me doing something, like she'd catch me saying something, she'd be like, "Did you just say that?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And she'd be like, "You just gonna say yeah?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." I ain't gotta be scared to tell the truth. I'm scared of what you gonna do, but I'm not scared to tell the truth.
Yeah.
I just be like, "Yeah." Like, they'd be like, "Hey, you said this." If you know that you did what I'm talking about, then you know I said it. So it's all about being accountable. It's not like I'm offending you or saying nothing untrue.
Yeah, I think accountability.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a simple conversation. Like, if they say, "Hey, did you say this? Hey, did you do that?"
Yeah. Yes or no?
Yeah, that's just conversation. And I think a lot of people not used to how conversation actually goes, because most people, because they're friends or family, usually, like, that's who we conversate with the most. Everybody responds with caring about your feelings first. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear, but I ain't trying to. I know you still sensitive, so let me not say it in a way that's gonna hurt your feelings. Rarely do you hear people just say point blank, "Yeah, I said it."
That's true.
It's always, "I didn't mean it this way" and stuff, you know. But I said it. If you said it, you said it. It's just that simple.
That's true.
yeah, I used to have like a huge lying problem. Like,
That's real.
and the thing is, I was bad at it. Like, I got caught every time, but
That's why I'm telling you, I'm not a liar. My grandma she would ask me something and come back 3 days later and ask me the same question again, and now I'm on punishment.
yeah, you just get.
I did it. Yes, I did it the first time. I'll take all the whoopings, whatever. Like, yeah, so we can get it over with. I did it.
Well, guys, we're gonna have to cut this short because I have to go on my room outside. But it was really nice to have this podcast and this conversation with you guys about SEL and just about life in general. And cannot wait to have you guys back here at Panther Record. You got anything to say, Jaden?
Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot during this podcast. You know, I kind of thought this was gonna be like an awkward, like, ask you a question, you respond. You ask me a question, I respond. But I feel like we kind of learned and kind of piggybacked off each other.
Yeah, that's how I thought it was gonna be too. I ain't gonna lie. Only because I be nervous. Like, I'm the antisocial teacher. I'm the introvert.
Well, good podcast.